Have you ever wondered if there's more to reality than meets the eye? If our consciousness extends beyond the confines of our physical bodies? What if the very fabric of the universe holds secrets about our deepest spiritual questions? Prepare to embark on a fascinating journey where ancient wisdom converges with cutting-edge science, where the mysteries of quantum physics begin to illuminate the profound nature of consciousness. This video will explore how the seemingly disparate fields of spirituality and quantum mechanics are beginning to reveal a unified understanding of existence, offering a new perspective on who we are and our place in the cosmos. We'll delve into mind-bending concepts that challenge conventional thinking, inviting you to question your assumptions and open your mind to possibilities previously considered purely mystical. For millennia, humanity has grappled with fundamental questions about existence. What is consciousness? Does it survive death? Is there a deeper reality beyond our ordinary perception? Ancient spiritual traditions across the globe, from the Vedic scriptures of India to the shamanic practices of indigenous cultures, have consistently posited a reality far more expansive than the material world. They speak of an interconnected web of existence, of consciousness as a fundamental aspect of the cosmos, not merely an emergent property of the brain. Philosophers like Plato hinted at a transcendent realm of forms, where true reality resides beyond the shadows of our sensory experience. Eastern philosophies, particularly Hinduism and Buddhism, developed sophisticated metaphysical systems centered on the concept of Brahman, or Shunyata, an ultimate reality that is undifferentiated consciousness from which all phenomena arise. These traditions often describe consciousness as an ocean, and individual minds as waves upon it, suggesting a deep unity underlying apparent separation. Mystics throughout history, from Rumi to Meister Eckhart, have reported direct experiences of this interconnectedness, transcending ordinary egoic consciousness to glimpse a universal awareness. These accounts, often dismissed as subjective or hallucinatory, nonetheless represent a consistent thread in human experience across diverse cultures and eras. The common thread in these ancient perspectives is the idea that consciousness is primary, not secondary, that it is the ground of being, rather than a mere product of biological processes. This stands in stark contrast to the dominant scientific paradigm that emerged from the Enlightenment, which largely adopted a materialist worldview, positing that matter is fundamental and consciousness is an epiphenomenon of complex brain activity. This materialist view, while incredibly successful in explaining the physical world, has struggled to account for the subjective nature of consciousness, the experience of qualia, and phenomena like intuition or near-death experiences. The stage was set for a fundamental tension between scientific materialism and spiritual insights, a tension that quantum physics, surprisingly, began to unravel. The advent of quantum mechanics in the early 20th century shattered the classical Newtonian view of a predictable, deterministic universe. Suddenly, at the subatomic level, reality became bizarre, counterintuitive, and deeply mysterious. Concepts like wave-particle duality, superposition, and entanglement emerged, challenging our most basic assumptions about the nature of matter and observation. Wave-particle duality, for instance, demonstrates that particles like electrons can behave as both particles and waves depending on how they are observed. This observation effect, often illustrated by the double-slit experiment, suggests that the act of measurement itself influences the reality being observed. Before observation, a particle exists in a state of superposition, meaning it simultaneously occupies all possible states or locations. Only upon measurement does this wave function collapse into a single, definite state. This led pioneering quantum physicists like Werner Heisenberg to famously declare, "What we observe is not nature itself, but nature exposed to our method of questioning." The implications of this are profound. If the observer influences the observed, where does the observer fit into the picture? Is consciousness merely a passive recipient of information or an active participant in shaping reality? Entanglement, another mind-boggling quantum phenomenon, further deepens this mystery. When two particles become entangled, they remain connected regardless of distance. Measuring the state of one instantaneously influences the state of the other. even if they are light years apart. This spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it, defies classical notions of locality and causality, hinting at a non-local interconnectedness far beyond our everyday experience. These quantum phenomena, particularly the role of the observer and non-locality, began to resonate with ancient spiritual ideas of interconnectedness and the primacy of consciousness. Some physicists, including Erwin Schrödinger and Eugene Wigner, openly contemplated the role of consciousness in quantum mechanics. Schrödinger, drawing inspiration from Vedanta, suggested that consciousness is a singular entity, and what we perceive as individual minds are merely aspects of this universal consciousness. Wigner, a Nobel laureate, proposed that consciousness might be necessary for the collapse of the wave function, implying that consciousness is not just an emergent property of matter, but an active ingredient in shaping reality itself. While these interpretations remain controversial within mainstream physics, they opened a door for dialogue between science and spirituality that had long been closed. The implications extend beyond theoretical physics. If consciousness plays a role in shaping reality at the quantum level, could it also influence our macroscopic world? This question forms the basis for exploring concepts like manifestation, intention, and the power of belief, ideas long espoused in spiritual traditions. The placebo effect, where a patient's belief in a treatment can trigger physiological changes even without active medication, offers a compelling example of the mind's power over the body, echoing the quantum observer effect on a biological scale. Furthermore, the idea of a universal field of information or consciousness, sometimes referred to as the Akashic records in spiritual traditions, or the zero-point field in physics, suggests a non-local repository of all knowledge and experience. If entanglement implies instantaneous communication across vast distances, then perhaps this field acts as the medium for such communication, allowing for phenomena like intuition, telepathy, or even past life memories, which are often reported in spiritual contexts. Researchers like Dean Radin at the Institute of Noetic Sciences have conducted extensive experiments exploring consciousness-related phenomena, including psychic abilities, intention's effect on random number generators, and distant healing, with statistically significant results that challenge conventional explanations. While not definitive proof, these studies suggest that consciousness may possess properties that extend beyond the brain, operating in ways that align more with quantum principles than classical physics. The concept of quantum consciousness proposes that consciousness itself is a quantum phenomenon, arising from quantum processes within the brain, such as microtubules, as theorized by Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff. While highly speculative and debated, this theory offers a potential bridge between the physical brain and the non-physical aspects of consciousness, providing a mechanism for how consciousness could be fundamental and operate beyond classical limitations. The convergence of these ideas leads to a profoundly different worldview. Instead of seeing ourselves as isolated individuals in a mechanical universe, we begin to perceive ourselves as interconnected aspects of a vast, conscious cosmos. Our thoughts, intentions, and beliefs may not just be internal experiences but active participants in the co-creation of reality. This perspective empowers individuals, suggesting that we are not merely passive observers but active agents with the potential to influence our lives and the world around us in profound ways. It encourages a shift from a purely materialist focus to one that incorporates the subjective, the intuitive, and the spiritual, recognizing their vital role in a holistic understanding of existence. The challenge lies in moving beyond mere analogy and finding concrete testable hypotheses that can further bridge this divide, allowing for a truly integrated science of consciousness that embraces both the objective and subjective dimensions of reality. While the connections between quantum physics and consciousness are intriguing, it's crucial to approach them with both an open mind and a critical perspective. It's easy to fall into the trap of quantum mysticism, where quantum terms are used loosely to explain spiritual phenomena without rigorous scientific backing. Many physicists caution against directly equating the observer effect in quantum mechanics with human consciousness, arguing that any measurement apparatus, conscious or not, can cause wave function collapse. The very definition of consciousness in a scientific context remains elusive, and there's no widely accepted theory explaining its origin or nature. Despite these caveats, the discussion itself is valuable. It forces both scientists and spiritual seekers to re-evaluate their assumptions and explore new avenues of inquiry. For example, the hard problem of consciousness, how physical processes in the brain give rise to subjective experience, remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in science. Materialist explanations struggle to account for qualia, the redness of red or the taste of chocolate. This is where quantum approaches offer a potential, albeit speculative, pathway, suggesting that consciousness might not be reducible to classical physics. Furthermore, the concept of non-locality, while demonstrated at the quantum level, poses significant challenges for how information could be transmitted instantaneously without violating the speed of light. While entanglement doesn't allow for faster-than-light communication of classical information, its existence still points to a fundamental interconnectedness that defies our everyday experience of space and time. Some theories, like David Bohm's implicate order, propose a deeper, undivided reality from which our perceived reality emerges, offering a framework where non-local connections make sense. Bohm, a protege of Einstein, suggested that the universe is like a hologram, where every part contains information about the whole, and what we perceive as separate objects are merely projections from a deeper, unseen order. This holographic universe concept resonates strongly with spiritual ideas of unity and interconnectedness. Recent developments in neuroscience are also subtly shifting the paradigm. Research into altered states of consciousness, such as those induced by meditation, psychedelics, or near-death experiences, reveals profound changes in brain activity and subjective experience that challenge purely reductionist models. For instance, studies on experienced meditators show changes in brain structure and function, suggesting that conscious intention and practice can literally reshape the brain. Near-death experiences, reported by millions worldwide, often involve out-of-body sensations, encounters with deceased loved ones, and profound feelings of peace and interconnectedness, experiences that are difficult to explain purely as brain anomalies. While skeptics attribute these to oxygen deprivation or other physiological factors, the consistency and profound impact of these experiences on individuals continue to fuel the debate about consciousness surviving death. The field of parapsychology, though often marginalized, continues to gather data on phenomena like telepathy, clairvoyance, and precognition. While replication remains a challenge, and many studies face methodological criticisms, the persistent reports and some statistically significant findings suggest that there may be aspects of consciousness that operate beyond our current scientific understanding. The very act of observing these phenomena, even if attempting to debunk them, implicitly acknowledges their existence as a subject of inquiry. Ultimately, the analysis of spirituality and quantum consciousness is an ongoing dialogue, not a settled conclusion. It's a frontier where science meets philosophy and mysticism, challenging us to expand our understanding of what is possible. It's about moving beyond dogmatic positions and embracing a more holistic view of reality, one that can accommodate both the rigorous demands of scientific inquiry and the profound insights of spiritual experience. The goal is not to prove spirituality scientifically, but to explore how scientific discoveries, particularly in quantum physics, might offer new metaphors, frameworks, and even testable hypotheses for understanding phenomena long considered spiritual. It's about recognizing that the universe is far stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined, and that our consciousness might be at the very heart of its mystery. The implications of this convergence extend far beyond academic discussions, impacting our daily lives and shaping emerging trends. In the realm of personal well-being, the idea that our consciousness influences reality empowers individuals to take a more active role in their health and happiness. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, and positive affirmation, long staples of spiritual traditions, are now gaining scientific validation for their effects on mental and physical health. The understanding that thoughts and emotions can influence gene expression epigenetics further blurs the line between mind and body, aligning with the quantum idea of observer influence. In technology, quantum computing is rapidly advancing, leveraging the principles of superposition and entanglement to process information in ways classical computers cannot. While not directly linked to consciousness, the development of quantum technologies pushes the boundaries of our understanding of information and reality, potentially opening new avenues for exploring the nature of consciousness itself. Some futurists even speculate about the possibility of quantum consciousness in AI, raising ethical questions about sentience and awareness in artificial intelligences. Culturally, there's a growing appetite for discussions that bridge science and spirituality. Documentaries, books, and online communities dedicated to quantum spirituality are flourishing, indicating a societal shift away from strict materialism towards a more integrated worldview. People are seeking meaning and purpose beyond consumerism, and the insights from quantum physics offer a compelling narrative that resonates with their intuitive sense of interconnectedness. This shift is also evident in healthcare, with a growing emphasis on holistic approaches that consider the mind, body, and spirit. Integrative medicine, which combines conventional treatments with complementary therapies like acupuncture, yoga, and energy healing, reflects a recognition that human well-being is multifaceted and that consciousness plays a vital role in healing. The ethical implications of a quantum spiritual worldview are also significant. If all consciousness is interconnected, then our actions towards others and the environment take on a new dimension of responsibility. The concept of universal compassion, a cornerstone of many spiritual traditions, gains scientific resonance if we are all part of the same fundamental conscious field. This could foster a greater sense of global unity and motivate collective action on issues like climate change and social justice. Furthermore, the exploration of quantum consciousness encourages a more nuanced understanding of death and dying. If consciousness is not merely a product of the brain, then its persistence beyond physical death becomes a more plausible, albeit unproven, possibility. This can bring comfort and a different perspective to the grieving process, aligning with ancient beliefs in reincarnation or an afterlife. The contemporary impact is a re-enchantment of the world, where science no longer reduces reality to cold, lifeless mechanisms, but instead reveals a universe teeming with mystery, interconnectedness, and conscious potential. It's a journey from reductionism to holism, from separation to unity, inviting humanity to embrace a more expansive and meaningful understanding of existence. As we conclude this exploration, it's clear that the intersection of spirituality and quantum consciousness is not just a fringe topic but a profound intellectual and existential frontier. While definitive scientific proof for many of these connections remains elusive, the ongoing dialogue challenges us to expand our understanding of reality, paving the way for a more integrated worldview. The questions posed by quantum physics about the nature of observation, interconnectedness, and the fundamental fabric of existence mirror the deepest inquiries of spiritual traditions. Perhaps consciousness is not merely an emergent property of matter, but a fundamental aspect of the universe itself, an underlying field from which all reality arises. This perspective invites us to re-evaluate our place in the cosmos, moving from a sense of isolation to one of profound interconnectedness. It suggests that our thoughts, intentions, and beliefs may hold more power than we ever imagined, actively participating in the co-creation of our reality. What if our inner world truly shapes our outer experience? This journey is an invitation to explore these possibilities within yourself. How do these ideas resonate with your own experiences and intuitions? Do you believe consciousness can influence the physical world? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. Your perspective adds to this collective exploration. If this discussion has sparked your curiosity and opened your mind to new ways of thinking, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more people who are seeking to bridge the gap between science and spirituality. And if you want to continue exploring the mysteries of consciousness, the universe, and our place within it, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey to the edge of human understanding. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep open to the infinite possibilities that lie within and beyond.